Folks, I'm going to do a brief garden update or yard update, and it's going to look around. I do this about every week or whenever I change something significant. We're going to look at the trail again here just in a minute, the little path that I made. Here, of course, this is the Phlox that Nikki likes a lot when she planted this years ago. This is kept on expanding. This last week was kind of a mess, and it still looks like one, but we're getting ready to mulch this. And you see we've put down more Phlox, so she went and got a different variety. That's blue speedwell there. That's a flower that she likes. And then we put some little daylilies over there. So I dug all this up today. There are two holes, one there and one over here, where she's going to plant something maybe later. We had the rains came and kind of kept us from doing a whole lot more else, but so hopefully all this will turn into something like that over there in the next couple of years. So we planted several things. I think she has a black-eyed Susan over there and some lavender in this little place right here. So we're going to mulch all this. Like I say, two holes dug. I dug for her so she could put something else there. It's just rained. It's just rained pretty hard, so everything's really wet. I will show you the other thing that I've done, and that is to build a little retaining wall. Last week I did an update showing this little path that we made here. We've always wanted kind of a path to keep it from being so muddy when we walk through here. And I cut a good sized hole out between these bushes so we can walk. And then I've been collecting rocks all week long. And in Valdese, North Carolina, the rocks are kind of rough and kind of gnarly looking. But the fact that they're rough like that and kind of weathered, they sort of like grab onto each other. Without even any mortar, they sort of hold together kind of well. So you can build a nice little retaining wall to keep a path like this from the rocks, for the gravel from going on down the hills, because we're on a slight slope here. So this is how that looks. Also, I misunderstood what she wanted. I started tilling that, so I tilled all that with our little toy-built electric tiller. She said no, she didn't want that tilled. But when I did it, she said, well, let's put some liriope, I guess, there. So we got that around this tree. I'll probably mulch all this around this tree, just like all this exposed dirt will be like that next week when I get some more of this mulch. This is the kind of mulch we're using. It's sort of like twice ground hardwood mulch. And you can see Amos Griffin last week mulched our little areas and all for us here. Yeah, so that's the main change this week, as I completed this little retaining wall thing, sort of, if you want to call it that. And so all of this was rocks that I pulled out of the woods right here locally, and I got to about midpoint here and just realized it was way hard work to go looking for rocks down in my own woods when I had to go down the side of a mountain and carry them back up. So one of my neighbors, Mr. Porch is his name, I noticed he had a lot of rocks just falling out of a little hill beside his house, and I asked him if he'd mind if I borrowed some rocks. He'd take as many as you want. And so we gave him a nice thank you card with a gift card in there as thank you for doing that. And from right about, I'd say this point here where these mossy rocks are on, is rock that I got from Mr. Porch's house, which is about, I don't know, a couple hundred yards from my house. So there we go. It's pretty cool. Loaded my truck up, got all these nice big rocks, and chunked them all up and made this little area here. So this is the update for now. We've got a lot more mulching to do, a lot of things to do. Probably by next week I'm going to have to mow. So this is the end of March. Usually first week of April we are having to mow. I cut all these apple trees way back this year, and so I don't expect to have any apples this year. The peaches, it doesn't seem to bother them, so the peaches have been all trimmed out, the pears, everything. But these apples probably won't have any apples this year, but at least I get the apple trees formed back into a good structure again, maybe. And the yard just looks kind of haphazard. Still a lot of twigs and stuff got to be picked up. The wind blows, and then Hendrix goes and onto our burn pile. I cut down some Leland cypress that were blocking the view that the previous owner put down there. This is one interesting thing that we're gonna probably do. So you'll see a whole lot of boughs that have to be burned. This is our little burn pile area. I wished I could burn today. It's not gonna happen. That's kind of how I straighten the yard up. So I go pick up all the limbs and stuff, and whatever Hendrix drags out. You can see his toys and stuff laying around, frisbees and stuff. But I try to burn about once a month. And so here is some of this is old fabric that was down underneath that up there, and we just got it out. It lasted for about 6 or 7 years, but it's starting to rot through, and so we're going to burn all that. But over here is what I was going to say. Nikki, that's where I cut the I was going to cut those big parts totally down here for these Leland cypress that I cut, and we may actually trim both of those up and put a swing or something in between them. Seriously, like put a cross piece on top, get them where they're level, and maybe put a swing on there. It's just kind of a crazy thought, notion we had. These are all the boughs and stuff that I cut off. I had to cut all the boughs off before I could even get in there to cut the bottoms off. That's why it was taken down in a funny way, strange way. So I may get rid of these other cypress over here too, just because we're going to probably cut some of these trees out and stuff here and create a better view down into the valley. So yeah, it's kind of a mess, but it's also a mess that's coming together a little bit at a time. So that's the new update. In probably 2 or 3 weeks, I'll come back. Everything will be a whole lot greener. There'll be a whole lot more mulch down. We're probably going to get rid of these bushes here. They've been here since we got here, and you can see they're dying. And in their place, we may put fig trees, since our fig trees have done really well around here. And so Nikki has bought a couple of figs, and she has some other thing here. What is that? I'm not sure. Nikki knows what everything is, but I don't. Let me see, we got a wheelbarrow full of twigs and stuff. We got to do those burn trimmings and stuff. This needs to go in the trash. We had to put these things up here as we were planting plants because Hendrix takes them and drags them all over the yard. Thinks they're toys. And what's that? Hydrangea or something? I'm not sure what that is. So that's got to be planted somewhere. It's like I say, ongoing process. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like. Like I say, these things, it's just kind of cool to see from time to time how the yard has changed, progress we've made, just what worked, what didn't. So I've got 10 years of this kind of stuff, and I have to say it's pretty cool for me to go back and look at it from time to time. And of course now this is the first year with the fence and with the dog able to run wild and loose and free out here. Thanks for watching, folks.